From chemtrails to contrails to cloud seeding, what is really being sprayed in the sky that we've seen all across the country as well as outside the country? Is it possible to truly control the weather? Stay tuned for more Real Talk. What is cloud seeding? Cloud seeding is a process that injects silver iodide into clouds that are not producing ice well enough on their own. They insert silver iodide by aircraft or by ground-based generators. These ground-based generators release smoke fumes that go up into the clouds, and they're stationed all throughout the mountains, thousands of them across the United States. Now, this doesn't make it rain, it just makes it rain more than it would have. Apparently, this is predominantly used to increase rain, increase snowfall, reduce the size of hail, as well as to clear the fog at airports. And it's important to note that this was traditionally done by aircraft since 1945. One of the best times for cloud seeding is from early spring to fall. Going into more detail about what silver iodide actually is. So silver iodide is a simple compound. It's polar in nature like water. So there's chemical properties that attract water molecules to silver iodide. It's structured molecularly similar to ice, which generates more ice buildup. And at that point, it pretty much turns into a snowflake or hailstone, and then it falls as rain as it drops from freezing temperatures. A major thing to note is that cloud seeding is only as effective as Mother Nature allows it to be. So the best time to cloud seed would be if there's a storm that's already coming. If there's no clouds in the sky, you really won't get any results by cloud seeding with no clouds. So cloudy weather in general could be a really good time to cloud seed. And remember, cloud seeding only makes the outcome greater than what it originally would have been. Now that we know what cloud seeding is and the chemical property to do so, let's take a look at what pilot Humberto Vivanco said to Paul Bertorelli. In an interview, he shared with us how he gets his schedule and updates from meteorologists and how it's all funded by the county. Let's take a look.
And how does it work? How does a typical mission work?
Early morning, I would normally get a message indicating the possibility of chance for the day. So either it's no chance to high chance and anything in between. Anything other than a no chance, I usually stand by with the plane, either in Hondo or Uvalde, and I just wait for the meteorologist to say, you know what, in the next hour I need you to get airborne and head out to the north, or give me a direction to go and find a thunderstorm and seed it.
Now you're talking to a meteorologist who's looking at live radar, and he has a phone link with you, correct?
Yeah, so we communicate just the same radio frequency. It's a different frequency we use, but it's live communications, and as he sees the thunderstorms develop or fade, he'll either tell me to go hit it or, forget and go to another cell.
Now, of course, you are flying towards thunderstorms.
Yes.
And the rest of us are flying away from them.
Yeah.
So it can get a little hairy sometimes, can it?
It can. Through training, and as the more you do it, you become more familiar on what spots in the thunderstorms you want to approach. It's all basically just VFR. It's just trying to find the place where the most uplift is into the cell, and ignite your flares at the right time.
So you attempt to fire the flares and have the uplift bring it up into the storm. Yes. You generally don't go in the cloud.
Correct. We try to stay below and away, as we get just as close as we need to get into that part of the cell where it's developing the lift, and inject it into that, and the cloud will do its thing from there.
Okay, so we're looking at the flares here, and you've got, I think you said a total of 40?
Well, it's 38 per side, so I have 38 on this side and 38 on the other side of the plane.
And they burn for how long?
Approximately 40 seconds each.
And you can fire these individually?
Yes. So I have a button inside that I will activate a flare, and if I need to activate 2 flares per run, I'll activate one, then the other right after.
And how long does a typical mission last?
A mission can last anywhere from about an hour to 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes we may have to stop and fuel up and go back up if there's still thunderstorms developing in the area. Sometimes I'll fly 40 minutes just to get to a cell, and then this seeding may take anywhere from 15-20 minutes to 40 minutes, depends on how hard it is to find the right spot.
And who pays for it?
Basically the counties. It's all paid for by the counties, and I don't get too involved with that side of the business, but it's divided into the counties, whichever county decides to opt in or opt out.
So according to Google, in the upper Colorado River Basin, Utah and Colorado have been seeding for decades. Wyoming has nearly a decade of experience, and New Mexico recently began approving permits for weather seeding in the eastern part of the state. California is also participating as well as others. The largest cloud seeding system is in the People's Republic of China. They believe that it increases the amount of rain over several increasingly arid regions, including its capital city, Beijing, by firing silver iodide rockets into the sky where rain is desired. Now, some say this is being done because it's a safe way to find a way to increase the amount of water that's available, especially for particular locations that experience more droughts than rainfall.
Drops tonight, but one nonprofit is taking matters into its own hands and helping to create more rainfall from clouds that are already in the sky. News 4 San Antonio's Joe DiCarlo explains.
Every day we go without rains is a struggle financially.
McMullen County rancher Stephen Maffridge says that drought conditions he's seen in the region have been tough on his bottom line. The one thing he desperately needs is rain.
Every day we go without a rain is another day we've got to irrigate, so it's a daily expense.
Maffridge says it can cost him up to $47.50 per acre to irrigate.
Radar 5 Sun Alpha, go ahead and head 010 for 35.
Bria Hyatt is the meteorologist for the Pleasanton-based nonprofit South Texas Weather Modification Association. It takes to the skies to help out farmers and ranchers like Maffridge.
We have 2 pilots out west in Uvalde County, and then we have 2 pilots out in Karnes County.
With funding exclusively by underground water conservation districts, local political subdivisions, and aquifer authorities, they service 10 South Texas counties, including Bear, to cloud seed, a process that releases microscopic particles of silver iodide and calcium chloride into the rising air of a thunderstorm.
Once we see a cloud on radar or on visible satellite, we go to it.
Now, in California, Santa Barbara is home to one of the largest, or actually one of the longest cloud seeding operations in the country. One of the most commonly used weather modifications, as well as many different techniques. We're going to take a look at how much more advanced cloud seeding has become over the course of decades. Let's take a look, y'all.
Seeding gear awaits the right kind of weather.
So these are referred to as AHOGs. That stands for Automated High Output Ground Seeding Systems. We've got 3 primary components of our equipment here. The first is the control module that you see behind me. Then we have our actual cloud seeding flares. The cameras for security. It also helps us observe weather conditions in real time and make sure that all of the equipment is operating correctly during a storm. Inside these canisters are the flares with the seeding agents. The canisters are used as spark arresters, so they prevent sparks from reaching the ground. So if we pull off the spark arrestor, you can see the flare inside. The ignition of the flares are controlled from the control module that's behind us. So the white triangle there is a cell service modem, and then the solar panel keeps us powered. Inside we have a battery and then a control board. So the control board interacts with the software. We're linked or synced with the software in Utah currently, and that allows us to fire or ignite any of the flares from that remote location.
Now, moving right along in the atmospheric research, the WRF-WXMOD is a simulation for the impact of cloud seeding. So this is a computer generated system that allows them to see the results of cloud seeding for particular clouds and how drastic the impact will be. So just because there's clouds in the sky, it's only particular clouds that you'll have a better outcome with. So we'll get a little bit more into detail of that later. Right now, we're going to dive into the history of cloud seeding because this kind of blew my socks off, so I know it's going to blow yours on. The first thing is that the first experience with cloud seeding were conducted in 1946 by American chemist and meteorologist Vincent J. Schaefer. Okay, since then, seeding has been performed from aircraft, rockets, cannons, and ground generators. Many substances have been used, but solid carbon dioxide, which is dry ice, and silver iodide have been the most effective. When used in supercooled clouds composed of water droplets at temperatures below freezing, they form nuclei around which the water droplets evaporate. The first cloud seeding test demonstrated that in the course of dissipating stratiform clouds, some small amounts of snow fell that would not have fallen had there been no seeding. Certain meteorologists hypothesized that by seeding thick clouds, it should be possible to cause substantial increases of rain or snow. Unfortunately, from the point of view of designing a scientific experiment, that would put this hypothesis to the test. The thicker the cloud, the better the chance of natural precipitation. Cloud thickness alone does not allow a unique specification of the quantity of rain or snow. Other factors, such as the strength and persistence of the cloud updraft, cloud top temperature, the horizontal dimensions of the cloud, and its microphysical properties influence the amount of precipitation. Since the late 1960s, increasing effort has been made to develop mathematical models of clouds and cloud systems. Once an accurate model exists, it is possible to calculate the expected results of ice nuclei seeding by means of a computer. This approach was employed by Joanne Simpson of the U.S. Environmental Science Services Administration and others to test the effects of heavy doses of silver iodide on cumulonimbus clouds. She found that the effects of ice nuclei on large convected clouds conformed closely with theoretical predications. Certain specific clouds were caused to grow and to produce more rain than they would have if they had not been seeded. Silver iodide seeding of potential hailstorms has been carried out in many countries. Most of the ice nuclei have been dispersed from ground-based or aircraft-mounted generators. In Switzerland, it appeared that there may have been more hail produced by seeding. In Argentina, the results seem to depend on the type of weather situation. In the United States, varying results have been reported. Now, on August 18th and 20th of 1969, Hurricane Debbie was seeded as a part of Project Storm Fury, a series of hurricane modification experiments conducted by the Environmental Science Service Administration and the United States Navy. Heavy doses of silver iodide were dropped into the hurricane clouds from airplanes. The maximum measured wind speeds of the hurricane decreased by 31 and 15% on the 2 days seeded. On August 19th, the day between the two flights, the storm reportedly re-intensified. The results of this experiment were in the direction predicted by a mathematical model of a hypothetical hurricane. Now, the NAWMC, North American Weather Modification Council, says the latest data from the World Meteorological Organization, compiled in 2000, listed 74 projects ongoing in 23 countries worldwide. In 2001, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration documented 66 projects conducted in the western United States. Project objectives included fog dispersal, snowpack, and rainfall enhancement, as well as hail suppression. Who performs cloud seeding operations? On most United States programs, a company specializing in cloud seeding is hired to conduct seeding operations. Other programs are conducted by universities, private companies, or even local weather modification or water management entities. It's crazy because it's like, who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? All these conversations you've had with people, and a lot of people think this is nonsense. They think it's crazy. They think the government would never do this. Well, you can think again that weather modification has been into play In my eyes, I feel like this is a chance to try to want to be God, to play God. They have their own reasoning for doing it. However, anytime the government comes out with their own reasoning for doing something, it's usually the opposite. As someone who believes in multiple conspiracy theories about the outcome of the governmental agenda that's placed against the people, I had to continue to do my research on what silver iodide really was. What is this that they're spraying in the sky? This light yellow substance. It comes in a crystallized form and then is, changed into whatever material they need it to be, which is more so like a grounded up dust like material. So this is what I found, you guys. Material safety data sheet for silver iodide. Okay, you got section 1, chemical product and company identification. Going down here to section 3, hazards identification, the emergency overview. The appearance is a light yellow solid, as I have stated before. It says caution, may cause eye and skin irritation, may cause respiratory and digestive tract irritation. Light sensitive, may cause reproductive and fetal effects. The toxicological properties of this material have not been fully investigated. It says the target organs, thyroid. And we're breathing this in every day, all across the United States. Potential health effects. For your eyes, it may cause irritation. For your skin, it may cause irritation, can cause eczema and rash. Ingestion may cause irritation of the digestive tract. The toxicological properties of this substance have not been fully investigated. Chronic ingestion of iodides during pregnancy has resulted in fetal death, severe goiter, if I'm saying it right, goiter, and carotenoid appearance of the newborn. All right, and for inhalation, may cause respiratory tract irritation, may cause effects similar to those described for ingestion. Chronic inhalation or ingestion of silver salts may cause argyria, characterized by a permanent blue-gray discoloration of the eyes, skin, mucous membranes, and internal organs. This results from the accumulation of silver in the body. Chronic ingestion of iodides during pregnancy has resulted in fetal death, severe goiter, and carotenoid appearance of the newborn. Prolonged exposure of iodides may produce an iodidism in sensitive individuals. Symptoms could include skin rash, running nose, and headache. Wow, sounds like allergies, doesn't it? That sounds just like allergies. Isn't this from spring until what, September? Wow. That's crazy. Isn't pollen light yellow? But over the course of years, it's been severely excessive as how much is actually on our cars and trees and house. Y'all remember seeing that? Those videos with all of that pollen that was just like literally just excessive. An excessive amount of pollen. Everybody was stunned. But anyways, going down, it says for section 4, first aid measures. For your eyes, flush eyes with plenty of water for at least 15 minutes, occasionally lifting the upper and lower eyelids. Get medical aid. For your skin, it says get medical aid. Flush skin with plenty of water for at least 15 minutes while removing contaminated clothing and shoes. Wash clothing before reuse. Ingestion, never give anything by mouth to an unconscious person. Get medical aid. Do not induce vomiting. If conscious and alert, rinse mouth and drink 2 to 4 cupfuls of milk or water. Inhalation, remove from exposure and move to fresh air immediately. If not breathing, give artificial respiration. If breathing is difficult, give oxygen. Get medical aid. Note to physician, treat symptomatically and supportively. What? So treat me for allergies? Man, get out of here. All right, let's go down. Yeah, you guys, we're breathing this in every day. Silver iodide. Okay, so and you see for section 11, the toxicological information not available, no information found. Neurotoxicity. Reproductive effects. Like, dude, don't we need to know that? But it says no information found. Of course not. Y'all are just gonna tell us that it's hazardous and to wash your eyes out. Chemical waste generators must determine whether a discarded chemical is classified or a hazardous waste. U.S. EPA guidelines for classification determination are listed in 40 CFR parts. All right, yeah, that's something else. But yes, I have another form I wanted you guys to see, but I just wanted you guys to see that, the real effects of what is actually being sprayed in the sky, and how they're actually being intellectually dishonest about what we're consuming. The fact that they're saying it has zero effect on humanity, zero effect on the water, zero effect on nature and the animals. That's a lie. This is a hazardous product. All right, so this next farm here that I found online is from Fisher Scientific, part of Thermo Fisher Scientific safety data sheet. Product name silver iodide. This is from back in February 10th of 2015. Let's see. Let's scroll down. It says hazardous, not otherwise classified, very toxic to aquatic life, with long-lasting effects. For eye contact, rinse immediately with plenty of water. Also under the eyelids for at least 15 minutes. Skin contact, wash off immediately with plenty of water for at least 15 minutes. Inhalation, move to fresh air. Ingestion, do not induce vomiting. Most important symptoms, effects, notes to physicians, treat symptomatically. Let's see. It talks about some talks about some fires and stuff, and what happens to it when the chemical is mixed, how to treat it accordingly. Accidental release measures. Let's see. Personal precaution, environmental precautions. Ensure adequate ventilation. Use personal protective equipment. And just, pretty much a reiteration of what's already been said. That is all we have for today on the More Real Talk segment. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment your thoughts below as far as what do you think of this entire cloud seeding idea. Do you think it's morally correct? Do you think that they have a right to actually do this? What are your thoughts? What do you feel about this? Definitely let me know. If you want a part 2, I can go more in detail on this silver iodide. But for now, thanks for watching and stay tuned.